Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the winners final of MLG. And it's gonna be IdrA, what the Zerg we've been following. The best Zerg in the world, by my opinion. Against Huck. That's right, the two players that we've been following so far are meeting in the winners final. And now, we will see exactly who will win. Because I, as a caster, am in a very bad position. Because I'm rooting for both players. IdrA is simply one of the players that I agree with when it comes to how to play and strategy, and IdrA makes me want to watch a race that otherwise I hate. On the other side we have Huck, one of the most lovable and adorable players ever, who can just simply kick ass. So, we'll see what happens in this winner final. This is game number 1 in a series of 3. So let's get started. So far we have Huck coming in here to take some minerals, and then I suppose he's gonna do what everybody does against IdrA, try to make sure that this expansion doesn't go down. Meanwhile, he is macroing up. He has the pylon at the gate, securing the gateway and just patrolling here, so his objective is to make sure that expansion doesn't come up. However, IdrA has gotten a pool instead, a 16 pool, so his plan wasn't exactly to go for an expansion. He might have some early links. And now Huck just running around with his little probe and the drones chasing. I'm sorry, and a pylon going down to slow this expansion even more, and already a drone has started working on it, and it'll be a while before any expansion is laid down here. Now Huck is gonna run in here and gonna try and see if anything is up. We're gonna see the spawning pool, gonna run through all these drones. Hey, what's up guys, I'm just moving along. Meanwhile, the Overlord has almost reached Huck as well. So both players are soon gonna see what the other is up to. A cybernetics course is up, so standard opening from Huck. While IdrA is getting out his queen. The expansion has already started. Apparently the drone has done its job. 2 Zerglings are on the map, and we'll see where these Zerglings decide to go. Maybe defend this from any kind of proxy. Gonna check up here and see that there is no proxy pylon, because hey, you can never know. I'm sorry if somehow I'm off, because to be honest, I actually hoped to see a final between Huck and IdrA. The advantage is that whoever loses this series does go into the loser bracket finals, where hey, he might have a chance to get back in the final event. But still, I was hoping to see this one-on-one. And it would be nice to see the final actually between the two, but who knows? We'll see what happens. Right now, that scouting probe for Huck is finally done in this game, and the queen is gonna lay down a creep tumor and gonna move out to the expansion, while I suppose there is another queen on the way. Yes, so 2 queen expansions, so I'm gonna lay down some more creep tumors, and IdrA's gonna have his little bit of economy up very soon, transitioning SCVs. Let's see that economy. Huck is in a slight advantage because these drones are transitioning, but soon that will even out quite nicely. We have a Zealot and a Stalker moving out. The 2 Zerglings have run in, so 2 Zerglings can do a lot of damage to these probes. There is nothing here. There is no warp gate, so no warp gates can move in. There is a second gateway, and now all these probes are gonna be forced to fight here. Meanwhile, we have a Stalker gonna fight a queen and a Zealot coming in. A spine crawler for IdrA. Always good to get a spine crawler to defend. Meanwhile, the Zerglings have died because of this Stalker, so very nice. I suppose Huck would want to bring more Stalkers in here for defensive purposes. This Zealot holding its ground perfectly, and now the Stalker's gonna have to move out or else be taken out. If we look at the production tab, metabolic boost is on the way, so soon these Zerglings are gonna be able to get us around anywhere, and very nice movement from IdrA, taking out that creep tumor. He should back out now very fast before his shields are up. Only took 3 health damage, but very nice killing that creep tumor and delaying the creep spread, and now the creep will not spread as fast. I was gonna say recede, but hey, this little bit of hatchery is gonna spread it out. This hatchery is morphing into a lair. We have a roach war on on the way, and Huck is securing an expansion of his own. So we'll see how this game actually goes. We have 4 stalkers here gonna do some massive econ damage, and all these drones are being forced to run out of here. And now Huck is actually outside the range of this spine crawler, and he's gonna take out this hatchery. I don't know, the spine crawler gets lifted up and pulled back a little, but it's gonna be a while until this thing burrows back in. But one stalker falls to Zerglings, and now these drones can get back to mining because the spine crawler is up. All these Zerglings getting in us around, and Huck knows that all these stalkers are gonna go down, even though they are now outside the range of the spine crawler. But if we look at the units lost tab, IdrA is in the advantage. He's lost more units, but they have been less expensive, and now IdrA's moving out of map with a lot of lings. So meanwhile, in defensive, we have a lot of sentries and 2 more gateways being warped in to make a somewhat of a choke point here, but not so much because Zerglings can run over here. And we have sentries and 1 zealot, even more sentries being warped in, and drones coming up, probes coming up to start expanding the natural. If we look at the army size, we have 51 supply over 52, but if we look at the harvesters, both of them are pretty equal, so army size should be fairly equal, except that Huck has all his supply in these sentries, while we have massive lings here. Force fields being used for naught, no wall in, and now these roaches gonna come in here, gonna try and take out the forge, but that's not gonna happen. These sentries are gonna fight, so it's sentry versus roach. I don't know exactly who will win. We have also lings on the map. Production tab says that we have ground weapons level 1, but also Glial reconstruction and Zerg carapace level 1. We'll see exactly who manages to win here. Huck laying down a photon cannon and another pylon to help strengthen this force, but however, because of that extended roach range, those roaches are gonna be able to bypass this cannon very easily. Now a robotics facility on the way. It'll be interesting what we see from here. Will there be Immortal play? Will it be Colossus play? And IdrA is securing his 3rd base. He's not opting to go for the high yield because the high yield is just so easily attackable. It's attackable from up here, from down here, from here, and if you devote too much of your army to hold these points, run by could be done very easily and lose your buildings quite fast. The advantage right now for IdrA as Zerg is that creep is vision. So despite the fact that he doesn't have any kind of units out across the map, and he is on the defensive at this point, I think. Creep gives him vision, so that even if he actually decides to hold this or this, he knows in time if something is gonna do a run by because of all this creep. Creep is vision, simple as that. And now we're gonna have a nice encounter between all these roaches and all these sentries. A lot of force fields putting these poor roaches, trapping these poor roaches, and now Guardian Shield is being used, and force fields are going to trap a lot of roaches in here, and the sentries and stalkers are just going to plow through them. Now the force fields are playing a bad part because the extended range is helping IdrA shoot from behind those force fields, and now Huck is slowly moving out, keeping in the safety of this Guardian Shield. Very interesting because you actually can see which sentry is using Guardian Shield. And now Huck is deciding to sacrifice these units so that these ones can live. And now an observer on the map. Observer can't do that much, isn't that good against Zerg because Zerg don't have that many hidden units, and very rarely do you see burrow this early in the game. However, Huck can take out creep tumors, those vision creep tumors that I was talking about earlier. Whew, and now that the fight is over, we look again at the units lost tab, and again Huck is in the disadvantage, IdrA in the advantage with about 1,300 resources, an Immortal coming out, a second one actually. IdrA has already secured his 3rd, slowly starting to saturate it. All these roaches gonna take down the high yield, and IdrA is going a con build, and strangely he's also keeping a very nice position with the roaches. And now this observer is gonna be used for scouting purposes. Gonna see that IdrA secured a 3rd, so that would maybe make Huck think he should do the same. However, if we look at the army tab, IdrA is at 126 supply, while Huck is supply blocked at 100. And more warping in pylons. He also has Zealot legs for the charge. Let's check out the production tab. We have Zealot legs, 1 more Immortal, 4 more Zealots. and ground carapace level 2 for IdrA. So IdrA is really bulking up on his defenses, and we have Hydras now. So IdrA is using Hydras. Yeah, I'm not gonna comment about that. Very nice. Again, this is also preventing the Protoss from getting an expansion because of the poop, and also he's getting vision on the map. Let's check out IdrA's vision. If we look at IdrA's vision, yes, as you can see, he can see, and not because of the overlords, but because of the creep. Sadly, the creep is gonna recede quite fast when the overlord stops, but still, it's gonna delay any kind of expansion. Meanwhile, let's get back to everyone. Now this creep is slowly receding, and Huck is getting out a pylon, and I suppose he's gonna try and secure his third. He should. It's a good idea, because if Huck actually if IdrA manages to get his high yield, and here is another encounter. So we have Zealots gonna rush in, but not gonna do that much. A few Zealots are stuck behind this army. 2 Guardian Shields gonna be used to soak up a lot of damage, and Huck is actually moving back because there are a lot of Hydras, and there's also an Overseer here to check maybe for Dark Templars, but that is not the case. And now an Immortal's getting taken out slowly by these running lings, and Huck is in a bad position. I don't think he can hold this even with this cannon. He's getting a Colossus against the Hydra. The Colossus, if he gets out in time, will do a lot of damage. A Chrono Boost is being used on that Colossus, but now Huck is being pushed into a corner by IdrA, and I don't think he'll be able to handle it. And shooting and shooting and shooting as best he can. Very nice use of the Overseer, using the Contaminate on the robotics facility, fearing a Colossus, and very nice. It was true. So Huck GG's, and that means that Huck is down 1, and I'll see you guys in game number 2.